Hey everybody, Cody here with Process 34. First off, just wanted to thank everyone for checking out my podcast and my YouTube video. If you have not yet subscribed to my YouTube channel, please do so now. Like it, comment on it, share. Also, Facebook and Instagram. If you have not yet followed me, please follow me. More content is yet to come, and I promise there will be a good amount of it this time. So diving right in today, I just wanted to take a moment and discuss some books that have helped me along the way. They have helped me feed my mind. They have helped me with that mental aspect of Process 34 quite a bit. There's a couple self-help books and also just a couple of golf books that I put in there just because I wanted to include them, because reading for me wasn't always the easiest. Not that I couldn't read, it was just I didn't want to, to be completely honest with you. I just didn't want to. I didn't have any interest in it. It was hard for me to sit there to read a book and to maintain interest the whole entire time. So I told myself I wanted to read no matter what. I just wanted to read, at least start off with a page. And what better way to do that than find a book that I would actually have a lot of interest in and even be a little bit passionate about. So I immediately went to golf. So I got a golf book, actually written by Tom Coyne. It is called A Course Called Ireland. And if you haven't if you are into golf, I should say, or even if you're not into, and you want to read a really good book, this guy is absolutely incredible. I have a few of his books. He also wrote a course called Scotland. And finally, his most recent is a course called America. So, course called Ireland, the first book I read of his is literally this guy went to Ireland and walked the whole perimeter of the island, and all along while playing golf. He basically, while he was planning a trip to Ireland for golf, he realized that the majority of the country was a golf course. So what better way to explore it than to just golf it? So he backpacked with his clubs, walked around the whole entire country, and played golf. It's an amazing story. It's funny. And more than anything, it was just something, like I said, I had a lot of interest in because I love golf. And this guy is just an incredible author, incredible writer. And just what a cool story. So anyways, that's what kind of like catapulted me into wanting to read. It got me into the routine of sitting down. I was doing it usually in the mornings, sit down and just read. I started with like a page, maybe even like a half a page. And then from there it was a chapter, from then it was a couple pages and then a chapter. And then before you know it, like, especially with his books, I was reading 2, 3, 4 chapters at a time, which, some people may think that's not a lot, but to me, that's an incredible amount of reading. I am no reader by any means. So for me, that was a big deal. So anyways, that kind of got me into the habit of reading and wanting to read, and more importantly, actually enjoying it. So not only was I doing something that was benefiting my mind, it was something that I was starting to enjoy a lot. So that was very important. Next book I want to share with you is a very special book of mine that I've been gifted it to me a couple times throughout my life. I have also gifted it to other people. It's a book that just makes you just kind of look at life in a totally different perspective. The book is Celestine Prophecy. So the Celestine Prophecy, it follows a guy. He goes to Peru. He's in search of this manuscript, all these different insights, and he comes across all these different people throughout the book. And I think it's a movie now too, but throughout the book, he comes across all these different people, all these different circumstances and events. And it's almost like he's forced to engage with these people to find, because he's in such a hunt for these insights and to find this manuscript, that it's like every single thing that he comes across and every single person he comes across, he has to engage with. And it's like what I got out of it is, in life, I'm always constantly searching for, what's my purpose here? What am I getting out of life? Am I on the right path? Am I doing what I'm supposed to be doing? Am I getting everything I should be out of life? Blah, 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 whatever. So often when I'm in that, I like to call it a rabbit hole, I'm blind to everything. I'm so obsessed about finding the right direction and, am I going down the right path, that I constantly miss pretty direct and concrete signs. I'm always looking for signs. I'm always saying that I'm looking for signs, but the signs, whenever they're presented, I don't want anything to do with them. For instance, you see like in the book, he saw somebody that looked familiar, and the person that he was with said, well, you should go talk to him. And knowing that it wasn't that person, he still went up and talked to him, and come to find out these people were also, these people also knew about the manuscript and knew about the insights, and he was able to get more information. And it just, that's pretty much how the whole book went. It was these series of events and people that he met. And it's like, if we don't take advantage of those situations, even if we think they're meaningless, then we often miss out on a very important message. And then we're in this constant pursuit of, what am I doing? Am I doing the right thing? Blah, 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 blah. So anyways, this book, often whenever I find myself in those moments where it's like, I don't know, it's just, I wouldn't say lost, but you're just constantly, you feel like you're not doing enough. You feel like, I need to be doing more. I'm not fulfilled, I guess. And so then it's, you start seeking out answers. You start seeking out all these signs, and you're asking for signs, and you're so frustrated, and you're just flustered, and you become obsessed about it. And during that whole time, there's probably, just countless amounts of signs and messages and people that are there. I firmly believe that there are people that come across your path for certain reasons, and a lot of times we avoid them, because we don't want to engage with a stranger or whatever it may be. But, it's just, it gave me a different perspective. It gave me a different outlook on life. It gave me, a realization that when I am thinking I'm not doing enough, or I'm thinking I'm on the wrong path, be aware, open your eyes, open your ears, pay attention, and, more than anything, open your mind and see what happens. It's usually nothing, this crazy is going to happen to you, but it might be something really small, and that might lead you to something else, and that might lead you to something else, and so on and so forth. So just a great book. If you have never read it, I highly recommend it. And I believe it's James Redfield, and I believe there's quite a few. I don't know exactly how many books are in the series, but there are more books in the series that kind of piggyback off of the original Celestine Prophecy. So cool series, cool book. Definitely recommend it. So the next book I would like to share with you is called The Art of Happiness. So I shared with you on, excuse me, hold on one second. I shared with you on my first podcast that I always really liked self-help books, and I really always kind of lean towards mindfulness books. I've read a decent amount about the Dalai Lama. Have never really studied a lot of Buddhism, but I love the concept and the idea behind it. I am no master. I do not know, like I said, I don't know a ton about it, but this book, there's a psychiatrist that interviews the Dalai Lama, and the Dalai Lama basically, I think he's at a convention, he's speaking, and this psychiatrist is out there with him, and basically in between his speeches and his talks, he is interviewing the Dalai Lama. And the purpose of it is he's wanting to basically sum up the art of happiness, the meaning of happiness, through the Dalai Lama's words. So what I like most about it is my original concept of the Dalai Lama was, somebody just out of this world, famous and powerful and highly, very, very spiritual, and just on another realm from where I'm at. So, I didn't really know what to expect, but I gave it a chance. And what I found was this guy could not be more compassionate and kind and down to earth and simple, and it's just an amazing read. He basically breaks down the art of happiness with kindness. I mean, there's more to it than that, but ultimately it's kindness. It's doing the right thing. It's being kind. It's being compassionate, not only to others, but to yourself. We often try to, I guess, make all of our problems so large. All of our character defects seem like this insurmountable mountain to climb that we're never going to get past, or it's too hard to cope with, whatever it is. And the way he explains it is the art of happiness, the pursuit of happiness, all of it, it's as simple as just doing one good thing, one small little thing, one step at a time, and just keep feeding it and practicing it over and over and over as often as you can. You are not going to change overnight. You are not going to get better overnight. You're not going to be this extremely happy person just like that. But if you do little things here and there, things that will feed your soul, things that lift your spirit, things that lift other spirits, showing compassion, showing kindness, these things will start feeding your spirit, and that happiness will start growing within. And just the way he explains it in such a simple and calm version is just, it's really cool. It's just, it's, like I said, it was not what I was expecting at all. Psychiatrist, the Dalai Lama, it seemed intimidating, I'm not going to lie. And it was one of the most down-to-earth, simple, just very nicely written books I've ever read. So it helped me realize that this daunting, I guess, pursuit of happiness that we often are on is really not that daunting. It's as simple as take it one moment at a time, be in the present mind, be in the present moment, make the best of it, engage with others in a compassionate and kind manner, and slowly over time, that happiness builds inside you, and not only will you see it, but others will see it as well. So That is the second book, The Art of Happiness. So, I know I've already showed you a couple golf books, but golf to me is, I mean, obviously it's a great sport. It's amazing. Best game I've ever played. I've played a lot of different sports, and golf by far tops them all. The great thing about golf to me is not only are you playing a sport, not only are you engaging in competition sometimes also, but it's not like, you know, I guess sometimes you're on a team, but rarely are you on a team. Rarely do you play against others. It's you playing against yourself, and, you know, I guess nature, you know, the elements are a factor here and there, but ultimately it's you, mind and body, sometimes spirit, but mind, body, and, you know, just how you can find a nice common balance between the two and make them work. So ultimately it's a great tool for life in general. In order to be good at golf, in order to score good at golf, not only do you have to have the physical ability and the skills, but you have to have the mind control and the mental strength to make it through a round without blowing up, basically. My biggest thing, I've always, you know, the physical part of golf has always come, I wouldn't say easy to me, but it came a lot easier to me than the mental part of golf. I struggle with that still to this day. It has been a goal of mine since I started golfing to break 80, and I still cannot do it because every single time I get close to that number, I start thinking about it in my head. I start obsessing about it, even when I know I shouldn't. It's hard. It's challenging. It's hard to shut this thing off. So, you know, I was looking for ways to take this, I guess, to be able to practice mindfulness and to be able to calm my mind and to be able to engage in the game and focus more without worrying or letting my emotions take over myself and my game. So I started looking around to see if there was any, you know, any sort of literature, and so many people pointed in the direction of a book called Zen Golf. So Zen Golf, basically just, I wouldn't say it's the easiest read, but to sum it up, it's basically mixing and melding mindfulness with the game of golf. It's how do you focus on your next shot? How do you forget about the last shot? How do you not worry about the shot that's coming up? So a lot like life, you know, you don't want to worry about the future. You don't want to dwell about the past. You want to focus on what's right now. So, it just really helped me, I guess, lock in more. It helped me realize that the funny thing is yes, it did help me with my game, and it did help me with my mind while playing golf. But what it did more than anything was it showed me how golf is so similar to life. It's just, I mean, it's absolutely insane how similar it is. And maybe it's just me because I love the game of golf and I'm looking for similarities. But to me, it's like there's no other sport that I can connect life the way I can with golf. It's amazing. And this book just kind of opens your eyes to even more, I guess, different ways of why that's true. So, if you're a golfer and you're struggling with being able to focus, you're struggling with handling and dealing with your emotions while you play or taming them, highly recommend Zen Golf by Dr. Joseph Parent. And even if you are somewhat interested in golf, or let's say you're interested in golf, but you don't really need to master your mental game, it's already on point. Still, I would suggest reading this book, looking at it from a perspective of how can I use this in everyday life, because it's literally, I mean, every single scenario they present in this book and that you will face on the course, you're going to face in life. Obviously different circumstances, different environment, but in one way, shape, or form, it's going to happen regardless. You're going to have to deal with these emotions. You're going to have to figure out how to be in the present. You're going to have to figure out how to not worry about the future or dwell about the past. So highly recommend any of these books, or don't read any of them. I don't care. Just read something, read something, do something positive for your mind. If you don't want to read, that's fine too. It really doesn't matter. The main purpose of this was just to show you what I do, show you what's worked for me and why it's worked for me. And if somebody's stuck, maybe it'll help them. If not, the main purpose of this message is to just please feed your mind. It's important. If you're scrolling on Facebook or Instagram nonstop after you follow me and like me, put it down, pick up a book, pick up a pencil, write, just do something for your brain, do a crossword puzzle, Sudoku, whatever. Just feed that mind, please. That's it. Please subscribe. If you have not yet, please subscribe to my channel. Follow me on Instagram, process_34, Facebook, process34. Audio podcast is available on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. Look forward to seeing you guys next time. Have a good one.